Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Vault. My name is Rob. I am delighted to be joined by a very special guest today. It's the Dynamite doll herself, Bronwyne Billington. Hey Bronwyne, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. How are you doing?
Not too bad yourself?
Great. Nice and sunny here in Canada today.
Cool. Yeah, same here as well. We're kind of
Oh,
on
good.
a couple of hours ahead of you, but yeah, the weather is nice. I had to block out the sun to kind of get some nice lighting going on in here. But
Perfect.
so people watching the channel know I kind of collect Blu-rays and all the movie collection stuff, and this is kind of I guess like an offshoot episode of Inside My Movie Collection. We're going to be talking our wrestling connections. Of course, your dad is the Dynamite Kid, the like awesome wrestler. So we're going to talk a little bit about him, but we're going to mostly just chit chat, me and you, kind of wrestling stuff, what we kind of grew up with and what we watch and all that kind of thing. So if that sounds good to you, we'll just get going.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
Awesome, cool. So I noticed we'll plug your social media stuff in the description and that, but I've noticed that there's a couple of things related to your dad kind of happening around now. There's some new t-shirts and there's like custom action figures and stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at Bronwyn Jewel, and on Twitter I'm at Dynamite Doll 84. We have the Pro Wrestling Tees t-shirt store, so that's been going for a while now. We have t-shirts on there. There's going to be something new and exciting coming soon after Dark Side is aired. I'll keep it a
Cool.
secret until then, but something new and exciting there. Yeah, and then we have an action figure coming out with Junk Shop Dog. It's the Sophobie line, so that's really exciting. Sophobie is like they're made of rubber, so it's a Japanese
Oh, cool.
style vinyl doll.
Yeah,
Super excited for that to come out.
that's cool. And those the rubber dolls, were they like what were they called, like LJN? Was that the name of those years ago? Like when we would have been kids? Like
Yes, the
yeah.
LJN figures that came
Cool.
out in 1984.
Yeah, awesome stuff. We recently saw Davey Boy Smith go into the Hall of Fame. Well, actually, it was last year, wasn't it? And it just kind of happened with everything going on. It kind of happened this year.
Right.
That was pretty awesome, and the Bulldog and stuff was there as well. There's a shout out to your dad, wasn't there? I believe during that.
Yes, and that's why I got my coat on today, my British Bulldog Davy Boy Smith jacket in
Cool.
honor of the Hall of Fame. Him being inducted this year, I didn't actually get to wear this anywhere hardly because we've been on lockdown.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. I almost wore it camping, but I was like, I can't do it. I didn't want to get burns in it. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wanted to wear it today. But yeah, my cousin Harry mentioned my dad in the speech, and I was super touched and brought a tear to my eye. And he didn't have to do that, and he did. And it was a powerful speech, and it meant a lot to me.
Because I used to talk to Georgia a good bit. Didn't she kind of lobby a good bit on social media? And would that be something you would be interested in doing for your dad, or do you think like they would put him? What's the thing in the Hall of Fame where they put a bunch of people in like one go? The legends, or her? I could be naming that wrong. You know, kind of
Yeah, I
kind of a
think you're
whole.
right. The legends,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Is
like a
that
legend contract.
yeah? Do you think you would be interested? Like, is that something you want to kind of push for on social media, or are you happy just to leave
Um,
when they decide? Kind of
I
thing?
just because I'm a mom of two and I work full time, I don't want to fully throw myself into something that's gonna drain me or take up too much energy. I kind of just want to see what naturally happens, but if it naturally comes about and I'm feeling it and I'm feeling the build up and it's gonna happen, maybe I would.
So you didn't exactly follow your dad's footsteps into wrestling, but you do work the Canadian scene as a manager and stuff, I believe. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I work for Real Canadian Wrestling here in Calgary. With COVID going on right now, there's not a lot going on, but we're really hopeful that the shows will be starting back up this summer.
Cool.
So I'm just really excited to get back in there. And I've been watching a lot of wrestling and I feel like everyone's going to be really excited and put their all into it when the shows start back up. So stay tuned for more on that.
So next question I have to ask, I know you get asked this all the time, Bronwyn, but a favorite match of your dad's? I think for me, WrestleMania 2 is like the kind of one that's really awesome, you know, with the Bulldogs and the tag titles and Ozzy's there. I'm a big fan of Ozzy and Black Sabbath,
Yeah.
so that was kind of cool for me. But I know there's a lot of stuff and all the Japan stuff is really cool as well, but do you have like a favorite one, or does it kind of change depending on your mood?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many to mention, but as far as a favorite, I would say my dad versus Tiger Mask, 1983 in Tokyo, April 21st at the Sumo Hall.
Cool.
And I don't know what show that was called, but that was the first ever 5-star match labeled from Dave Meltzer. So
Oh,
I
cool.
would say that match.
Yeah,
That's pretty
nice.
impressive. Yeah,
That's a
just
good one.
the athleticism and the storytelling and how into the crowd how the crowd is so into it. It's
Yeah,
just amazing to watch. And it's so different in Japan. I've never been to Japan. I would love to go,
yeah.
but it seems a lot different than Canada, what you see here. So
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, to watch? And they kind of like they're just most of the time. I've seen like some more recent shows where the crowd kind of seem a little bit more like US or Canadian crowds, but most of the time they're kind of like, and you get the kind of little like, and it's not like a
yeah. Oh,
US
but
like a
they're
WWE
screaming in
show.
that
Yeah,
match. Like they are
yeah.
reacting to everything.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, legendary matches there. I would recommend checking those out, guys, if you haven't seen them. Speaking of your dad again, so Dark Side of the Ring is a really cool series. So season 3 they're on now, and there is an episode that you've taken part in about your dad. It's upcoming. I guess you'll be more in the know about the air dates and stuff. But is there anything you can or you want to? I know some stuff you probably can't tell us, but anything you want to tell us about that?
I do believe it's going to be out June 10th. I think that's the date. It's the final one of the they're doing they're doing it in like 2 parts this year because there's so
Yes.
many episodes. So we're the last episode of the first part. I do believe it's going to be on June 10th,
Cool.
and I'm just really looking forward to it. We've heard positive feedback from the producers. It was a really great experience filming it. And so far this season, all the episodes I've watched have been really amazing. And I think I'm looking at it differently that I actually filmed an episode myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm not seeing it as sad. I'm looking at the positive side. I'm like, okay, well, they came out of it and now they're strong and
Yes.
they're still good people. And you know what I mean? Like that's how I'm looking at it now, which is really interesting. I don't know if viewers look at it that way, but that's how I'm looking at it now because I want people to look at our story a little more positive as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, it absolutely makes sense because I was going to kind of say, I've been a fan of the show. It's oh my god, Jason and I can't remember the other guy's name. The two
And
guys.
then,
Yes,
yeah,
they do a fantastic job, and I was going to kind of say it's interesting that you say that because I kind of like some of the episodes that really stick out to me, like a huge fan of Owen, like when I was a kid, and like that episode killed me. I was not. I think I even tweeted or something. I was not ready to watch that.
yeah,
Benoit was like a terrible one to watch as well.
that's
Just
true.
as you said, in the kind of kind of people watch it and they kind of I kind of come away with the sad feeling like the Pillman one as well. I loved Pillman as well. Like we'll kind of get into that as we talk about
Yeah.
wrestling me and you watched. But I was just going to say, is there any kind of standout episodes you've watched like the Pillman one and Brian Jr.? Oh my god, like I was
Yeah,
nearly
that is one
crying.
of my standouts as it's fresh in my memory because I did just watch it.
Yeah, yeah,
But as well, the Bruiser Brody episode because
yes,
I heard of him. I don't think I researched him or watched a lot of his stuff or anything like that. But watching Dark Side, I got super into him and like, I don't know, I became a fan and the
yeah,
story spoke to me. It really bothered me that he was murdered and
yeah.
no one was ever charged for it. It's just like,
Crazy, isn't it?
yeah, that's wild to me. But what a legend. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite episodes.
Okay, so we're kind of getting into wrestling stuff. Me and you, as wrestling collectors and stuff now. Everybody knows who watches the channel here. Like I'll collect everything, Bronwyn. I have 4K Blu-ray, DVD, VHS, Laserdisc. I work as a projectionist, so I have. Oh, this is all like film behind me. All
Well,
this stuff.
that is cool.
So I collect everything. Are you big into the DVDs and the Blu-rays and stuff like that as well?
Not myself, not as much the DVDs. I have a few VHSs from the 80s.
Cool.
And yeah, we have the network, so you can just plug that in and watch anything
Yeah.
really. So,
So you have a couple of cool tapes and stuff you want to show us?
yeah, just a couple, you just find things when you're out. Thrift shopping is amazing.
Oh well,
For this VHS, we don't
big,
even own a
big,
VHS
big
player right
box.
now, but we need to watch that.
Yeah, that's so
And then
awesome.
this one I've always had, the British Bulldogs.
Oh yes, yeah, the Coliseum videos over here. Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah. So, and then we have like a box full of recorded VHSs
Yes.
from when my dad wrestled in Japan.
Oh,
People would just, be on TV and they'd hit record. So it's kind of ridiculous, but maybe super rare footage. Who knows? So we have a box of that.
Yeah, no, do
And
you know what, I was the same, like me, where I think we're like a year apart, I should say, in age, and it wasn't it always like taping movies and stuff off TV. Like I had a huge VHS collection, but it was always taping stuff on like wrestling
yeah,
shows. So
yeah,
what I did at one point is I have some of them to kind of show later on. Was I converted all my VHS to like the DVD-Rs. You could buy the DVD recorder machine and just hook your VCR into
yeah,
it. So I got rid of all the tapes and I have them all on like
yeah. You
current
should really do
DVDs.
that because they'll
Yeah,
probably be ruined soon. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
a couple of cool DVDs.
Oh yes,
Dynamite Kid
I've
in
seen that one
Japan,
before. Yeah,
and then
awesome,
British Bulldogs in Japan.
cool.
So it was one Christmas, my mom had bought all her kids, well, us three
Yeah,
Billington kids, these for Christmas. So it was a super cool gift. And
nice.
when I have people over, we'll just put on wrestling. Sometimes we just put these DVDs on in the background.
Yeah, super
Just have
cool.
good wrestling going on.
Yeah, nice, awesome.
So they're part of my collection.
Yeah, that's really cool. Do you have a rough idea of what would be the oldest item in your wrestling collection?
Okay, so I think that is probably going to be the LJN dolls.
Oh, awesome.
So that's my dad and Davey. Unfortunately, I don't have the belts and they're not boxed,
Yeah,
but I come across my dad like this one so often. And if I come across it, I'll buy it.
nice.
So
Yeah,
I have 4 right now because I'm like, well, I need one. If I just need an extra, and then I have one for each child of mine. So yeah, I just recently bought, I don't know if it was this one, probably not this one, but I bought one in Banff. When I was in Banff, it was $10 at a thrift store. So I was like, yep, I need that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
so
I would
cool.
say these guys, 1984, they came out. So they're as old as me. But as well, my dad's first ever ring coat.
Oh well, that's awesome.
So he wore this in the UK. There's not even any like footage of it,
Mm.
but it was his first ever ring coat when he was like 15, 16 years old.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a great piece to have.
Yeah, and it's in perfect condition.
Yeah, nice. Just as a quick, I have two things to kind of show you guys here.
Sure.
As a quick kind of offshoot, I don't know, have you seen that recent kind of WWE show where they're kind of sending some of the wrestlers out to kind of buy back the kind
The
of
treasures.
costume?
I
Yeah,
haven't watched it, but I've been recording it.
yeah, I've seen one or two of them, and it looks super cool. I was just kind of wondering, is that something? I'm not too sure if you've said this in another interview, but is that something like maybe the family, you guys would like to try and get some of your dad's stuff back? Like, is it out there? Do you know if Collectors has it?
Yeah.
And is it
I
something?
would absolutely like pay to get his boots, or I don't have a pair of his boots. Yeah, just certain things like I would pay.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I have two random things here. Oh my god, what year is this? I think this says 91. So it's not. It's this like Ultimate Warrior, like
Are those wristbands? They were like little,
it was. I don't. I
it's a
think
little backpack.
Yeah, I want to say like there was a key ring hook here and it was like to go on your keys, but like it's giant, like it's the size of keys, but it's this weird like Ultimate Warrior thing.
I love it.
And then that's the oldest thing I think I have. I had a couple of figures and stuff that I kind of, as a kid, we moved house and I kind of lost. But I did kind of rebuy them on eBay. But the other kind of treasure thing that I got at a show here in 95 was a pair of Brett's Hitman glasses.
Oh,
So
right on.
it's super cool. They're kind of all kind of getting kind of wrecked
Scratched
now. I
up.
don't know if that works, but
Did you wear them a lot? Like,
as a kid, yeah, at the show and
yeah.
stuff. In another quick note about that show, I think Brett was working like Hakushi at the time, if you remember him. That was kind of cool. And there was no kind of big, I guess, you would be familiar, Brown, with like house shows. There was no big fancy entrance. It was literally just, I don't know is it like pipe and drape with the curtain, just they come through the curtains. And I remember kind of, I was there with my cousins and we ran over to kind of see who was next. And Shawn Michaels just kind of standing and kind of like waves over or something, like
Yeah, like they're watching.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to see.
Awesome.
So that was some awesome stuff. Next one, can you show us something cool from your collection, if that maybe has a story behind
I'm
it?
gonna just rotate the laptop here and
Yeah, cool.
Hopefully this works. So my dad's wrestling cape from WWF.
That's awesome.
Just hanging on the wall, so but you can see it there.
Yeah.
So he wore that, of course, tagging with Davey, and Davey had the matching coat or the matching cape and vest.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And a cool story about that is they're so heavy if you were here and you could feel how heavy it is. And of course the rope would tie around their neck.
Yeah.
So that whole thing is, all that weight is going against their neck. So I guess my dad absolutely hated wearing it and traveling with it as well, because you'd have to carry it onto the plane,
Oh,
right?
nightmare. Yeah,
Like an
yeah.
extra heavy item. And Vince would give him a fine, or give anyone a fine if they didn't show up with their proper gear that they were supposed to wear. And my dad would take the fine because he just hated traveling with it. So I guess it was $1,000 fine. And each time the fine would get higher and higher. And he got up to like $5,000. And sometimes my mom said he would just have his vest. Like he wouldn't have the cape, he'd just have the vest. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that cut the fine down, but.
That's cool. Awesome story.
Yeah.
My one is kind of here behind me. So bear with me 1 second.
Yeah.
So as we get along, we'll kind of find out I am a huge CM Punk fan. I've followed him from the indies kind of, all the way through his WWE run and stuff, and UFC, but let's not talk about that. But
Yeah.
I kind of I was leaving one cinema as a projectionist to go to another, and it kind of like overlapped where I was going from monthly salary to kind of weekly salary. So I kind of ended up with like a month's salary where I was kind of like, oh well, I have all this money. So at the time I got this made, Bronwyn, this was only like the fourth one. So I got I'm sure you're familiar with Reggie Parks, who made all the real belts and stuff. So I got Reggie Parks to make me a Ring of Honor belt, because CM Punk was the Ring of Honor champion. And at the time they told me there was the real Ring of Honor belt, and then I was the third like fan or whatever to kind of license getting one made. So I think this cost me like $1,800, €1,400 for this. And
Wow, that's expensive.
Super cool.
I know there's a belt, I don't know who made it, but there's one of my dad, so you can just make whatever you want. And it's on eBay and it was $200. I'm like, that's not bad. I might have to buy that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'd be cool to have. What is kind of like would you have like a most prized possession in your collection, or prized?
I would say it's probably the cape.
The cape, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's just super known, and you can pull pictures up off the internet, and a beautiful piece. So I would say that. I do also have Matilda's dog collar, actually. I'm sure she had multiple dog collars, but this one says Matilda British Bulldogs 1988.
Wow, it's super cool.
So there's that. Some of my dad's gear.
Nice.
And of course these ones.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I would just really like boots to add to my collection.
That's what I was just going to say. You're literally
feel a little more complete.
Yeah.
Also wish I had one of those, like the jackets like these that they wore to the ring.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. They had a few different ones. That would be cool too to have.
Yeah. Do you know, like, has anybody kind of contacted you that they have them, or have you seen them out and around?
Not jackets, but I do know Benoit's son has a pair of his boots.
Oh, well.
Yeah, because remember Stampede Wrestling, my dad had passed down his boots to Chris Benoit. So
yeah,
he has them David Benoit has them in a nice case. Yeah. He showed me them. I'm like, and he did say he thinks that they belong with me. Yeah, I think give him time, and I think he does want to give them to me, but I don't want to push it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he'll probably give them to you eventually.
Yeah, like when I see him eventually, I think.
Yeah. Nice. I have a prized possession again. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like showing all these belts, but
oh, that's okay.
I have this one behind me. I didn't actually get to meet him. I bought this through like a UK kind of wrestling website at the time, so I'm sure you'll remember this one. It's the old NWA title belt, but if I flip it, there was 30 of these signed by Ric Flair, and I love Ric Flair. It's like,
that is awesome.
God help me, Bronwyn, whenever we lose Ric Flair, I'm going to lose my shit, because he's the greatest. And this is one of the prized positions. He's one of, but like, we kind of, I think that I have that as an upcoming question. I think when you've watched wrestling as long as we have, I don't think I can narrow it down to one.
I know.
Weird kind of question, but what was the last wrestling item that you bought for your collection? It does or it doesn't have to be related to your dad.
Okay, there's two things. But there's actually something I bought today, so I have to show you on my phone.
Cool.
So my friend in Vancouver he's been thrift shopping a lot and he's been finding a lot of wrestling stuff. So he keeps sending us pictures like, do you want this? Do you want this? So he sent me this today, and let's see if you can see it. Can you see that?
Oh, well. Tiger mask.
It's Tiger Mask. It was
That's awesome.
$120, and I was like, yes, I want it.
Oh my God. I thought
Yeah.
I was bad until you said $120.
Well, it's a bit pricey, but I need Tiger Masks for my collection, and I asked my fiance to split it with me for my birthday this month.
Nice.
So we're splitting it.
Yeah.
But little cheaper items from the thrift shop again. Hold on.
Yeah.
When I got the LJN dolls, we also got these little guys,
Oh, cool.
and they were $5 each.
Nice.
I think that Macho Man had gloves on maybe before, because there's like white chipping off his hands, but
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I don't know. But they're cool. $5, and we already had the Davy one.
Yeah. They were was it Hasbro made them?
I think so.
Yeah, I want to say they were. I remember. I don't have them in here with me. They're in the other room. But I had, as a kid, I had Hulk Hogan and I had $1 Million Man. And then, when we moved house, they kind of got left in the attic or something. And then I saw somebody kind of selling like 6 or 7 or 8 of them in one go, and on eBay. So I got them, and I got the Hulk Hogan I had. I got Macho Man. I got Bret, Mr. Perfect, Big Boss Man, Jake the Snake. I got a nice little kind of haul of them, and they're kind of in there on the shelf.
Davies, it was, I don't know, my cat knocked it over or something, and some of his fingers broke off.
Oh my God, that's so weird. I was when I was taking this NWA belt down earlier, I had to move some of mine, and I just kind of noticed like, oh, Jake the Snake is missing 2 fingers. Like,
yeah.
I think they just.
So, but I see those quite often, so I'll probably just pick up another one.
Cool. The last 2 things I don't. But I have a load of wrestling like DVDs and Blu-rays. I don't buy as much now as I used to. But the last, I got sent a Blu-ray to review of The Undertaker: The Last Ride. I don't know if you saw that. It's really on the network.
We started watching it and we didn't finish. It was really good.
It's really, really awesome.
So busy.
If that counts, I got sent that for free to review. But the last thing I bought was I'm a big fan of Alexa Bliss, so I bought the Money in the Bank DVD where she wins and then cashes in later on that night. So that was the last kind of wrestling.
Do you like her new gimmick?
I'm a huge fan of Bray Wyatt since he started. I have a Wyatt family tattoo. I have a couple of wrestling tattoos. So I'm a big fan of him. And I kind of, at the start, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know about this. I liked it up until when she done the turn at WrestleMania. Yeah. And I was kind of like, I don't know about this.
I like it for her. I don't know about with Bray Wyatt, but like,
I think she's really good. Yeah, she's really good in that role. And I'm the worst. I don't keep up week to week anymore. I'm kind of like on a monthly, when the pay-per-view is coming up, I kind of like write what happened the last 3 weeks of TV. Yeah.
If you just watch SmackDown before the pay-per-view, you're good.
Yeah, you're grand. Oh, speaking of SmackDown, Natty wins the titles like 2 days ago, was it?
Yes, finally. I've been waiting. Each match I watch with her, like WrestleMania, you know, she's gonna win. She's gonna win. So
finally.
I was really excited.
So next one up is last wrestling show that you watched. It can be TV, pay-per-view, documentary, whatever. What was the last wrestling related thing, I guess?
So Dark Side. I watched episode 2, which was oh my God, what's his name again?
Nick Gage. Yeah.
So episode 2, season 3 on Nick Gage. We watched that this weekend.
Cool.
It was actually really good. You kind of were rooting for him watching it. Like there's a heart in there and you think he is a good person, but then he's just a little bit crazy. So totally had me engaged. No pun intended.
Nice. Yeah, I literally watched it last night. Yeah, that was the last thing I watched as well.
Yeah, it was a little bit hard to the pizza cutter. I'm like, oh, I can't watch. That's so crazy.
God, I was like, as soon as like Arquette comes on, I'm just like, oh man, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him.
Yeah, and funny, I actually didn't really know who Nick Gage was when I watched the David Arquette documentary, or I'm not sure if it's a documentary, but
yes, I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard it's very good. The David Arquette.
Oh, you have to watch it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's really good. So watching the Dark Side episode and seeing their match again, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that was Nick Gage.
Oh. Yeah, because I kind of, when I put it on, I would kind of be the same, and I like, no disrespect to Nick Gage, but I was kind of like, who is Nick Gage? But he's obviously worthy of an episode that the guys sort of felt. And then like I would say, I know I've said this before on like Instagram, and I kind of got a ton of heat for it, but we all have an opinion. So I'm not a big fan of Dean Ambrose, John Moxley. I don't like his
I love
hardcore
him.
kind of. I don't like that stuff at all. Not, I mean, Attitude Era stuff was fine, but that like deathmatch stuff is really like, I think it's
Oh, he
really
was
out
just a
there.
skinny kid then too.
Yeah,
It's
it's
funny
so
to
weird,
see.
isn't it, seeing him? Yeah, but I'm kind of and then he kind of came on and was kind of like, oh, didn't he like have all these kind of like deathmatch things with this? And I was like, okay, it kind of clicked for me then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's who Nick Gage is. Okay, but yeah, I said it's they kind of as you said earlier, kind of you've taken part in one of these episodes, so you can I can definitely see what you were saying now. There's
Yeah.
they're ending a bit more positive maybe than kind of they were maybe in the first kind of two
Telling more of the
seasons.
story than just all the negative, like
Yeah, exactly.
balancing it.
Super cool.
But also, so I watched Dynamite on Wednesday. We watch Dynamite every Wednesday. And then I've been watching those A&E documentaries that they're putting out right now. So
Yes.
we just started the Roddy Piper one.
Oh, well,
Didn't finish it this weekend, but yeah, watched the Macho Man one and Stone Cold.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't. I have to catch up on them. I know
There's so much wrestling right now, right?
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? Yeah. So same as you, Bronwyn. Nick Gage was the last thing I watched last night. WrestleMania was the last pay-per-view I watched. It was great to see people back. I don't know how you feel, again, as a performer, you would be able to speak more than I could about. For me, no crowd was just not working, and I couldn't
I
watch
wasn't
it all.
enjoying WWE. I didn't like how they did the screens.
Yeah.
That to me was way too distracting.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at the screens more than the wrestling. I liked how AEW was doing it. Like the wrestlers were down in the crowd and making noise. At least it felt like there was sort of a crowd.
Yeah.
But the crowd definitely makes it.
Yeah. And then wasn't there like
and the wrestlers would say so too. I know Natty was like, this has been so weird wrestling without a crowd.
So next one up is we were both kind of I guess I don't know, were you kind of, I kind of feel like I was a huge wrestling fan as a kid, and then I kind of feel like, I don't know if this is the same for everybody, but for me, I kind of at a certain point I kind of just completely lost interest for like 3-4 years and then got hooked back in. And I don't know if it was the same for you, or were you always watching when you were a kid?
No, so 80s, of course, us being kind of the same age, 80s wrestling is missed.
For sure.
The characters and stuff, that was the best time, I think.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't really watching much, probably junior high. So it would be the 90s. And then it was kind of the Attitude Era. My little sister was watching wrestling and I was like, what are you watching? Like, I was intrigued.
Yeah.
Like Trish Stratus, and I really got into her.
Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of when I started getting back into it.
Yeah, nice.
Attitude Era.
That's a nice segue into, do you have a favorite pay-per-view from the 80s?
So the 80s, as you mentioned, it was WrestleMania 2 with Ozzy, of course.
Yeah.
So the Bulldogs versus the Dream Team with Ozzy Osbourne and Captain Lou Albano in their corner.
Yeah.
I am also a rock girl, so having Ozzy there is so cool. I'm like, how many people can say that Ozzy Osbourne was standing ringside of their dad's match? And they won the tag team championship that night. So in Chicago, and it was just super cool.
Yeah, really, really cool. Again, 80s kids. So this one, I actually bought this from the old video rental store that was across the street from the last house we lived in. I thought this was so cool as a kid because it was like, it's a double tape and it's WrestleMania 4, the title tournament, and Macho Man t-shirts on. Macho Man wins the title. It's really, really awesome. And just, I remember like seeing this as a kid on the shelf going like, it's 2 tapes. Oh my God, it's so long. It's going to be great. Like, and then you're kind of watching all these tournament matches going like, really, kind of now. That's but so awesome. So that was super cool. 80s one. And we'll keep going. Do you have a favorite pay-per-view from the 90s at all?
I would say SummerSlam 92, Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog.
Awesome.
At Wembley Stadium in London.
Cool.
Yeah, just obviously being 2 sides of my family, having Diana Hart there in the middle of it. It was all raw emotion, pure emotion, and just so cool. Like the way the crowd reacted to Davey winning, like the roaring of the stadium. Yeah. I did go to London. I've been to London once, and I saw the stadium just from outside. But I was like, wow, that's so cool. That's where it happened.
Awesome. Yeah, that was. I mean, I could be wrong in saying this, but it wasn't that the only kind of big stadium pay-per-view outside the US and Canada for WWE.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever gone again. We could be
Yeah.
wrong. Someone will let us know in the comments.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know if
Yeah.
we're wrong.
I'm gonna kind of cheat on my I was looking, when I was coming to questions, I was kind of thinking like favorite 90s pay-per-view. So
Yeah.
I already said it earlier to you, like big fan of Owen, big fan of Brett. Like Brett was for me all the way through as a kid. So I had the VHS of these, and then I kind of just, I switched them to copy them onto these kind of DVDs. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna give you two pay-per-views back to back. So you were talking about like crowd reaction earlier. I don't know if that's gonna come up, but In Your House Canadian Stampede.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was brilliant. The 10-man tag. You'll remember
Yeah.
Heart Foundation against I guess the US guys, Stone Cold and all those. And then followed up, that was Canadian Stampede June or July? I
July.
can't recall. July, yes. And then followed up, because this one, my birthday is the 3rd of August. And this pay-per-view was on my birthday, and it's SummerSlam 97. It was on my birthday. Huge Bret
SummerSlam is
Hart
a fun
fan.
one.
Yeah, Brett and Undertaker for the title, and Sean's in there, and that kind of kicks off the whole
Yeah.
thing that leads to Montreal. So it's like, that was I remember like, that was a super cool. I was like, it's on my birthday, and I love Brett and I love Undertaker and title match.
Yes.
Yes. It was like
Yeah.
super cool. So I'm so bummed that I got rid of the tapes and, like, with the cover and stuff, but I'm just
I have a stack of DVDs, burnt DVDs like this tall of
Wow.
wrestling DVDs that a friend made for me.
Yeah.
He's like, everything from your dad, like in order, chronological order. He burnt it
Oh
all for me.
wow, that's super cool to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because we were talking about the network earlier, and kind of, as somebody who collects like movies and stuff on Blu-ray, it's kind of streaming stuff is great, but then stuff goes up and down, gets taken down, like Netflix has whatever, and then it's gone. And it's like, where would you go to buy all your dad's matches in chronological order? Like, and so that's stuff like that is super cool. Yes, next one up is did you have a favorite pay-per-view of the 2000s?
Okay, I'm gonna say Backlash 2000.
Okay.
Chris Benoit versus Chris Jericho.
Awesome. Yeah,
So they were the semi-main event,
yeah.
And a lot of people said they should have been the main event. It was a really well done match, not too long. Very the athleticism that those two showed.
Yeah,
it was a really good match.
Super
and
cool.
I like the ending when Jericho puts the ref in the walls of Jericho after he loses.
Yeah, awesome.
The wall of Jericho.
Is that the where were they in their like IC title program at the time, Benoit and Jericho? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
Chris had the belt. Chris Benoit, sorry, and then Chris Jericho, he lost. So
yeah, cool.
He was cranky at the end, and then puts the ref in the walls of Jericho, and it was hilarious.
Nice. I kind of mentioned it there earlier. So I remember, wrestling from a kid all the way up, and then around like 2002, I kind of like lost interest a little bit. And then I kind of like, I want to say maybe I would probably like at least check out WrestleMania every year.
Yes.
Because WrestleMania is WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then I kind of remember 2005, and I was like, hold on. ECW is coming back. One night stand.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And it was this 05, I think. Yeah, 05. Yeah, it's right on the front as I'm holding it there to show you guys. You're talking about Chris Jericho. Lance Storm versus Chris Jericho is the first one on this, and Benoit and Eddie is in here as well. Like,
so many good wrestlers.
Yeah, it's just really, really cool. I think this was right before that horrible the WWE CW kind of thing. That terrible yoke.
2000s was hard to choose because I think I wasn't watching a lot then either.
Yeah, no, I wasn't either. I think that kind of ECW show hooked me back in, and then I was kind of, when you're kind of how much for a while, I was like, wait, who's Batista? Who are all these people?
Yeah.
What is going on?
It's hard when you didn't watch them come in, or you need to know their whole story.
The wrestling books got big, like I guess was it like late 90s or early 2000s when everybody like and their mother had a wrestling book out. So I just kind of thought I would ask you, because I would buy all of them. Did you read any of those, or did you have a favorite one out of them?
Of course, I have to go Pure Dynamite.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
My dad's book.
Cool.
I don't remember what year it came out. It says it was 90 something. And reading it, of course, my dad was in England and I was in Canada. I could hear his accent like every page, every sentence. So I really enjoyed that. And I remember when I first got it, I think at the back there was like an index. It's like children mentioned or something. Or how did I find out? not even an index. I don't know, but I was like, there's my name on
Yeah.
the last page or
Awesome.
whatever page it was.
I'm
Like,
famous.
this is cool. I didn't even read it yet. I just like pulled up to my name.
Yeah.
The story is very true to his story.
Mm.
It's very close to real life. There's not a lot of fiction in it, so that is great.
Yeah.
Great read. Fans love it.
Cool.
My current favorite, I'm reading the Bella's book in
Oh, well.
Comparative. I'm huge fans of
Yeah.
both of them, especially Nikki Bella. I love.
Yeah.
So I just started this and it's really good so far. Yeah, enjoying it.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna have to go with. I don't know if this was the first of the. I'm trying to look for a year again. I can't see a year, but $39 Canadian. That's a bit expensive. Oh, 99. Yeah, so this was 99. So this was Mick Foley's first one, The Mankind. Have a Nice Day, wasn't it? That was. I think this maybe like the first one of the like the WWE kind of books, or WWF at the time. I just remember this being super cool. And I think I got all of his other ones, but I don't know if I read them. I really enjoyed Jericho's first book. I got his second one, but I never read it. And I did, fan of Brett, so I liked Brett's book.
Yes,
But yeah, it's huge. And there's some pictures in there, but yeah, those were kind of ones for me. Next one. Favorite kind of wrestling documentary. This could be anything like a WWE network or a DVD or a TV thing.
I would say Dark Side Current. Dark
Yeah.
Side's doing such a good job. Really well done.
Yeah.
As far as documentaries, a little bit older, I'd say Wrestling with Shadows on my Uncle Brett.
Yes, it was awesome. Cool.
Yeah, just seeing, Calgary and my family and their house. Like I grew up, I was there every weekend. So it's just a lot of things I'm familiar with. My cousins, my aunts in it. And of course, like they showcased like the infamous screw job. So seeing that all in there was super well done. Good documentary.
Yeah, it was awesome. Good timing on those guys making documentary at the time. Yeah, same for me. Dark Side has been a solid since season 1. They're doing a great job. Those
and
guys.
I just heard they're going to do like a spin-off Dark Side of like football.
Oh,
and
wow.
something else, some other sport.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds good. WWE documentary DVD that I would again, sorry, big fan of CM Punk, and I loved his one because I kind of felt it was a little bit different to the kind of sit there and tell the life story. There's some cool stuff of him.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's kind of filmed and kind of leads up to him. Him leaving and then winning the title, and he's like, "Oh, I stayed." That's kind of, I'm gonna change things or whatever his kind of thing was at the time, and then that's not how it panned out. But
it's crazy he never came back.
Yeah,
back.
I'm so surprised he hasn't. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Do you ever see these kind of things that pop up on YouTube? Like 10 people Vince will never ever work with, and he's always in the list. So we're coming up to some kind of favorite kind of questions here. Do you have a favorite current female wrestler at the moment you like?
Natalia always, and also Frankie Monet. I'm not sure if you've been watching. She just started in NXT. So she was Taya Valkyrie in AAA and Impact Wrestling, and she was from BC but was training in Calgary. So I got to watch her all the time here when she was wrestling for PWA Wrestling. Cool. So she's one of my current favorites. Nice. And I'm tuning in every Tuesday on NXT to watch her. I'm just really excited to continue to watch her career blossom.
Yeah, awesome. I'm not familiar. I know of her, but I've never seen her work. But I've seen she has like a little dog or something with her, didn't she, when she showed up and stuff? Yeah, that looks super cool. Again, I'm behind.
And my baby keeps being like, doggy.
Yeah, awesome.
I like that.
I already kind of said earlier, Alexa Bliss. I've liked her stuff since the start. Charlotte Flair, I watched her again from the start. AEW, I really like Britt Baker. I think she's kind of a standout.
Awesome.
She's
such a good heel.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, she's super cool. I think you already kind of said Trish. But any past female kind of favorites?
She's my past favorite. Yeah, Trish Stratus, and she kind of got me into wrestling in the 2000s, and then Miss Elizabeth in the earlier years.
I was a big Lita fan, like in the kind of 90s, 2000s. Not so much Trish until kind of later on. Mickey James, I was a huge fan of Mickey James. And then kind of, I guess 90s stuff. Bull Nakano is somebody I really kind of found later on and really liked her stuff, and she has awesome Japan stuff as well. If anybody's kind of interested in checking that out. Favorite current male wrestlers?
I'm gonna say Jericho.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
yeah, AEW is, we're watching that every week.
Yeah.
And yeah, him and MJF, the two really strong heels right now.
Yeah, he's MJF as well.
Loving those two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super cool. I'm looking at my list here, and like I've always liked Edge from the start. I guess does he count as current? I don't know because he's kind of back. So I have kind of a three NXT, all like old and new kind of NXT guys. I liked his Japanese stuff. Shinsuke Nakamura, I really loved his stuff. I was kind of on a bit of a down with wrestling at the time. I don't remember the year, Bronwyn. Maybe you will. I'm not too sure, but it was Nakamura's NXT debut, his match against Sami Zayn. That's easy to say. I thought was awesome, and it was one of those matches where it just pulled me right back in to kind of to watching wrestling. And Finn Balor, of course, represent Ireland
Yeah.
there. He's doing good. And Adam Cole, I really like Adam Cole. That was some cool stuff there. And yeah, Jericho's always good. I should have actually forgot to say earlier, him and Stone Cold, what's the Stone Cold thing called? He was on recently on the network. That was something recently of
Broken Skulls.
Yeah, Broken Skulls. Yeah, that was really great. I was so surprised that he was on there.
I know. I'm like, what's happening? Are
Yeah.
AEW,
Oh my
WWE
God,
winning
what
forces?
is going on? Yeah, madness. Any favorite past male wrestlers you want to kind of shout out?
I'm gonna say, well, Macho Man, and then a
Yep.
little bit after The Rock. I was obsessed with him in high school. I had a
I know.
poster above my bed.
Yeah.
My high school boyfriend was actually obsessed with him, and then I'm like, yeah, he's hot. And I put a poster above my bed, and I was just like, kiss him every day, like, good
Yeah.
night, Rock.
Cool. Yeah, I think they've probably said about 3 or 4 times now. Big fan of Bret Known when I was a kid. Flair as well. Macho Man have the T-shirt on. Undertaker kind of early on stuff as well. Eddie, I loved Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Pillman as well. He was someone that it's kind of X-Pac like Kane. There's so many it's hard.
I know it is hard to choose just a couple.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot off some quick fire questions at you here. So I'm gonna kind of throw 2 things at you, and we'll kind of find out your favorites out of some of these. So it'll be kind of fun and interesting. So here we go. WWF or WCW?
WWF.
DX or NWO?
NWO.
Ooh, Austin or The Rock?
The Rock.
Hogan or Macho Man?
Macho Man.
Nice. Miss Elizabeth or Sensational Sherry?
Oh, Miss Elizabeth. That's hard though.
Yeah, they're both so
But Miss
awesome.
Elizabeth.
Yeah. Lita or Trish?
Trish.
Cool.
But again, hard. I do love Lita too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We're best friends.
Yeah, cool. Vince or Bischoff?
Do I have to choose one?
No, these are, I don't know even why. These are just random things.
I guess Vince.
Yeah. Bulldogs as a tag team or Davy Boy and your dad as solo?
Oh, that's
Or
hard.
is it kind of like, it's one is as good as the other?
I'm gonna say Bulldogs because I just have a love for tag team wrestling. It's there's just more to the story, more personalities in the ring, and I really enjoy that.
Cool. And the last one, original Heart Foundation. So I guess Brett and Jim, or 97 Heart Foundation with the 5 guys.
I'm gonna say Brett and Jim because I felt like my dad was missing out of the last one. So
yeah, nice.
So Brett and Jim.
Yeah, cool. And that we kind of blasted through all the questions. I know we've mentioned Macho Man a couple of times. I could be wrong, but I kind of want to say you've posted some cool pictures of you as a little kid with Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth and stuff like.
Yeah. My dad was pretty good friends with him, so every time they would come to town, we would be backstage with Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. They loved having the kids, so me and my Hart cousins in their locker room. I think because they didn't have kids of their own, they were always like, "Yeah, come on in," taking pictures, and they loved us. So they were really, really nice that way.
Awesome, cool. Is there any other memories you want to share with some other wrestlers before we kind of finish up? I'm sure there's probably loads. Is there any? Was Andre around when you were little, or he was kind of gone? Was he?
Okay, so oh my God, what WrestleMania was it? WrestleMania. Was it 92? WrestleMania 91. We went to LA and I met Andre the Giant in the lobby. Wow. So the hotel we were staying in, I went with my Aunt Julie, my Uncle Brett, and their kids. My mom and dad just had divorced and they brought me on this lovely trip. So we're there at the hotel and I meet Andre the Giant in the lobby. I remember there was a big piano and he's just standing there. And I think my Uncle Brett took me over to shake his hand, and his hand just covered my whole hand, like my little baby hand, because I was 7 years old at the time.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I shook his hand and just looking up at him, I'm like, this guy is a giant.
Yeah.
He wasn't wrestling then. I think he was just still
He was,
catching the shows. He was there backstage or whatever. So,
yeah, yeah.
and I never got a picture with him, unfortunately, but I do have that memory of him in front of the
Yeah.
piano and shaking his hand.
Cool.
Super cool. The Ultimate Warrior stayed at my house for like a week.
Oh,
My
well.
dad and him were good friends. It felt like a week anyways. Maybe it was only a long weekend. I don't really know. But I remember just being a little girl and I was coloring at the table, like watching my cartoons, and down the stairs comes the Ultimate Warrior. No, he wasn't in all his gear. He was in normal clothes.
Yeah. No face paint.
I was
Damn
just
it.
like, who's this big man? Yeah, this is just my life. There's always wrestlers at our house. And
Yeah.
I have a picture of my dad and him and my dad's trainer, Ted Betley. They were out in our, like in the lawn or our backyard. Yeah, so there's that one picture from that memory.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That does it. We've blasted through a bunch of questions. This has been really great. And great to chat wrestling with somebody else. So it's really cool to do that. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to plug or anything like that before we I'll have all links in the descriptions and stuff, guys, to the stores, the Dynamite Kids stores and stuff like that. Is there anything else you want to let us know about?
Maybe just that we're starting a new t-shirt line. It's at Wrestle Merch Central in the UK. So that's going to be coming soon. So all our UK fans will be able to order shirts and not have to pay a ton for shipping from Pro Wrestling Tees or other websites. So we're really excited for that. And yeah, you can follow me on my Instagram, Bronwyne Jewel, and Twitter at Dynamite Doll 84.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks so much, Bronwyne. It's been great having you on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys, and stay safe. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.